How's it going? Welcome back. This is Anthony for the Level With You show, and we today are going to be continuing opening the Final Fantasy Opus 4 booster box that we had. Last time I flubbed up and totally didn't record any of the audio to the video, so today we're going to be going through the second pile, the middle pile in the box right here, and we're going to be opening them and going through to see what we were able to pull. I don't know too much about the Final Fantasy trading card game. I did play a quick demo match way back at PAX East probably 2 years ago, and that was really fun. So I do remember enjoying all the cards, and being very familiar with the Final Fantasy series of games as a whole definitely helps see some familiar faces and characters. Alright, and we are starting off with a monk. Let's see if I can focus. There we go. So we got a monk to start. She's a backup. She costs 2 yellow crystals to play. She's a standard unit. And let's see. Her effect is, it looks like you need 2 yellow crystals, and then you tap her. You can put monk into the break zone. Choose one effect. For dull, 1 forward you control. It cannot be broken this turn. That's cool. I think dull is the equivalent to tapping a card rather than like using it. So we got that. The Sage is our next card. He's a backup standard unit. And his effect is 2 blue, tap him, put Sage into the break zone, choose up to 2 forwards the opponent controls, and freeze them. We got Atomos here. He's 6 yellow crystals. He's an EX unit. He's got an EX burst. He's a summon. You can select 2 of the following actions. You can choose 1 dull, forward, break it, or you can choose 1 forward, deal it 8,000 damage. That's cool. You can see the little series icon right there. So it looks like he's from 9. Yeah, he's from 9. Let's see. Cool. And we got Samurai here. Standard for red crystal unit. It's a forward, 8,000 power. And if you have received 5 damage or more, you let's see, Samurai gains plus 1,000 power and brave. And that's from Final Fantasy Tactics. And we got Ninja. Ninja's a forward, purple, 2 purple crystals with haste, 3,000 power. This character can attack or use abilities containing the tap symbol and the cost the turn it enters the field. So this it looks like this game does contain Summoning Sickness, like most others. It's from Final Fantasy III. And Cactar from Theatrhythm, monster card. 1 green crystal, the monster card. You can choose 1 forward when you tap him, deal it 1,000 damage. You can play 2 green crystals and tap him. Put Cactar into the break zone, choose 1 forward, deal it 10,000 damage. Cactar deals you 1 point of damage. EX burst card. The EX burst of cards put into the damage zone due to this ability cannot be used. That's a cool little drawback there. Alright, we got another Ifrit. He's a summon with an EX burst. You can choose 1 forward, deal it 4,000 damage. If you control 5 or more fire characters, deal it 7,000 damage instead. Well, we got a shiny black mage. You can choose 1 forward. It cannot become dull by your opponent's summons or abilities this turn. You back up. So it's a support card for 2 yellow crystals. Ooh, we got a Lich. It's from Final Fantasy Tactics. It's a summon. You can deal each forward opponent controls damage equal to half its power. Round up to the nearest 1,000. Ooh, nice. So we got Barret from Final Fantasy VII. He's a forward with 8,000 power. He's got Brave. When a job avalanche operative you control other than Barret is put onto the field into the break zone, you can deal 2,000 damage to all forward units the opponent controls. His special Satellite Beam looks like takes an S and 2 yellow crystals and tap. Deal 5,000 damage to all the forwards your opponent controls. And he has 8,000 power. And let's see, no, not at the end yet. Got an Archer. And 2 green. Standard unit. When Archer enters the field, deal 1,000 damage to all forwards opponent controls. You can use 1 green crystal, tap it, put Archer into the break zone. Deal 2,000 damage to all forwards opponent controls. And now for real on the end, we have a General Leo. He's a red forward. He's a captain, 7,000 power. When he attacks, choose 1 forward opponent controls, deal a 2,000 damage. Shock, you can deal 5,000 damage to all forwards your opponents control. what's up next? I don't know if I'm going to be reading all of these here because there's a lot. A lot that's going on, but I will say that I do love the texture of these cards. They're so nice. I definitely went through this one in the previous video, but the material that these are made with is super, super nice. Very quality. Alright, we got a red mage here. Yeah, I think I'm just going to focus on more of the actual art and quality of the cards over. And give you a little peek of what they could do. Alright. We got Mystic, 2 blue crystals. It's a backup unit from Final Fantasy Tactics. That's a Bard. That's a backup standard unit from Final Fantasy 3. That's a Warrior. Costs 2 purple crystals to summon. He's a forward from Final Fantasy 3 as well with 8,000 power. We got a Dark Knight from Final Fantasy Tactics. It uses 3 yellow crystals to be summoned. It's a forward unit with 7,000 power. An Adamant Tortoise, 1 blue crystal. He's a monster card. We got a Ghoul from Final Fantasy Tactics, 2 blue crystals to play, monster card with their effect. Choose 1 forward, dull it. Nice, we got a holographic Wedge from Final Fantasy 7. He's an avalanche operative, costs 3 yellow crystals to play, and he's a backup support card. We got Mont Blanc from Final Fantasy Tactics. He's a backup card. Costs 4 red crystals to play. We got Ton Betty. I know we got a couple of her last time from Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles. It's an EX Burst, a backup card. Advisor. And we have a Dice Darg from Final Fantasy Tactics here. He's 3 purple crystals to play. He's 6,000 power forward, Night Job class. And on the end, we have Mog, nice, from Final Fantasy 6. He's a forward, 4,000 power. He's a Moogle. It's awesome the amount of cards that they give you per pack here. Alright. We've got an Usher to start us off. He's 3 purple crystals to play. He's a backup support unit, deep ground class. He's got an EX burst. Let's see, when Usher enters the field, you may search for 1 card named DGS Trooper First Class or a card named Deep Ground Soldier and add it to your hand. Next, we got a Monk. 2 yellow units, or 2 yellow crystals to play. Another double. We got a Warrior from Final Fantasy 3. Standard forward unit, no effect, 4,000 power. 1 yellow crystal to play. We got an Archer. 2 green crystals to play. She is a backup unit from Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced. Backup unit. Let's see, you can tap 1 green crystal, put Archer into the break zone, choose 1 forward your opponent controls. During this turn, the next damage it deals to a forward becomes 0 instead. Next we got Goblin. 1 yellow crystal. He's a monster card. You can put Goblin into the break zone, choose 1 forward. It gains 2,000 power until end of the turn. We got Scholar. That's a backup standard unit. 2 red crystals to play from Final Fantasy 3. You can tap 1 red crystal, put Scholar into the break zone, choose up to 2 forwards opponents control, and deal them 3,000 damage. Nice. Got that nice little art Chocobo I know we saw in the first set of packs we opened. It's a forward standard unit with 6,000 power, 3 green crystals to play. When Chocobo enters the field, choose 1 forward other than Chocobo. It gains haste until end of the turn. Next we have a holographic Scholar. Nice and shiny. After that, we got Marlboro. Monster card, 3 blue crystals to play. You can use 1 blue crystal energy until the end of the turn. Marlboro also becomes a forward with 6,000 power, and when Marlboro blocks or is blocked, all the forward's opponent controls lose 2,000 power until end of the turn. You can only use this ability once per turn. After him, we have Remedy. She's from Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. She's a forward with 7,000 power, costs 3 blue crystals to play. If you control a card named Sid Randell, Remedy gains plus 1,000 power. When your opponent plays a character onto the field other than from his or her hand, if your opponent doesn't, pay 2, and then you can break it, or destroy it in this case. And on the end we have, or nope, not even the end yet. Ramza again. I know we got another one of him in the first set. He's 2 purple crystal to play. He's a forward, 5,000 power. When a forward you control is put from the field to the break zone, activate him. You can tap him to choose 1 forward. It gains haste until end of the turn. You can also tap him to choose 1 forward. It gains plus 1,000 power until end of the turn. And now on the end we have Realm. She is from Final Fantasy VI. She's a 2 blue crystal unit to play. She's a forward with 5,000 power. She's a Pictomancer. Her EX burst says when Realm enters the field, reveal the top 5 cards of your deck, add 1 monster among them to your hand, and return the other cards to the bottom of your deck in any order. You can tap her to choose 1 monster until the end of the turn. It also becomes a forward with 7,000 power. That's pretty cool. So she takes full advantage of those monster cards we've been getting a lot of. Alright. We've got a Goblin monster card from Theatrhythm. He's 1 red crystal to play. You can put Goblin into the break zone, choose 1 forward you control, it gains haste until end of the turn, and draw 1 card. We got Doned from Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. He's a forward for 2 green crystals, 5,000 power. You can tap him, choose 1 monster, dull it or activate it. Got another Bard. Got a Black Mage from Final Fantasy Tactics. 4 red crystals to play. It's a backup standard unit. When Black Mage enters the field, choose up to 2 forwards, deal them 5,000 damage. We got a Yeoman for 1 purple crystal. It's a monster card. And you can put Yeoman to the break zone, choose 1 forward. It gains first strike until end of the turn, draw 1 card. We got a Bard. He's a 2 blue crystal energy to play. He's a backup standard unit from Final Fantasy Tactics. His effect is 2 blue energy and 2 of any energy, and then tap him. Put Bard into the break zone. Your opponent discards 2 cards from his or her hand. You can only use this ability during your turn. We have a Viking next. 3 blue crystals to play. Standard unit forward with 2,000 power. When Viking enters the field, draw 1 card. When Viking leaves the field, draw 1 card. Very heavy draw mechanic. And he's from Final Fantasy III. After him, we have a holographic Magus. 2 purple crystal to play. Standard unit. It's a backup. You can tap him, put Magus into your break zone, choose 1 active forward, deal it 4,000 damage. Got a Hekon Chair. He's a 2 yellow crystal summon unit. You can choose 1 forward you control and 1 forward opponent controls. Each forward deals damage equal to its power to the other. That's from Final Fantasy XIII. After that, we have Araya Osena. I know we got her in the last stack of cards. She's a backup, 2 green crystals. She's a Seed Seer. The card named Arun Sina and card named Khan Isina you control cannot be chosen by your opponent's abilities. And on the end, we have a Garland. Oh, no, not even there. We stuck at 1 more. Always messing that up. So he is a 6 red crystal unit to play. He's a forward with 9,000 power. When Garland enters the field, you may play 1 fire backup of cost 3 or less from your hand onto the field, dull. So that's already tapped position, I believe. Now, for the end, we have Sabin. He is from Final Fantasy VI as well. He's a 4 red crystal unit to play. He's a monk forward, and he's got 8,000 power. When he enters the field or attacks, choose 1 forward you control. It cannot be broken this turn. 1 red, 1 colorless energy. Sabin gains plus 2,000 power until end of the turn. You can only activate this ability while Sabin is attacking. His special ability is Rising Phoenix. It uses the S symbol and 2 red energy and 2 colorless. You can deal 8,000 damage to all forwards. You can only use this ability while Sabin is attacking. Alright, let's keep it going. They just give you so many cards per box. This is awesome. Oop. Great. Alright, so we got another Sage here. We got a Ramu. It's a summon from Dissidia Final Fantasy. He's 1 purple crystal energy to summon. He's got an EX burst of select 1 of the 2 following actions. Choose 1 forward of cost 2 or less, break it. Choose 1 monster of cost 2 or less, and break it. So you've got some options with him. We've got a Mime from Final Fantasy Tactics. It's a forward, 4,000 power, 2 blue crystals to play. 1 of any energy. Mime's power becomes the same as your opponent's weakest forward until end of the turn. You got a Dragon. After that's a monster card from Final Fantasy Tactics. That is 1 purple energy. Put Dragon into the break zone. Choose 1 monster of cost 4 or less and break it. Its other effect is 1 purple, 1 colorless. Put Dragon into the break zone. Choose 1 forward of cost 4 or less and break it. We've got Zach next from Final Fantasy Theatrhythm from Final Fantasy VII. He's a backup of 3 red energy. His EX burst is when Zach enters the field, choose 1 card named Cloud or Job Soldier in your break zone, add it to your hand. Good recovery for those guys. We've got Thief. It's 1 green crystal energy forward. When Thief leaves the field, your opponent puts the top card of his or her deck into the break zone from Final Fantasy Tactics with 3,000 power. Then we got Geomancer after that. It's a 2 yellow crystal energy to play, backup. You can use its effect for 1 yellow energy and 1 colorless. Tap it and choose 1 forward. It gains Brave until end of the turn. Ooh, now we got a shiny Atomos. We pulled him earlier. Summon with, let's see, you can select 1 of the 2 following actions. Choose 1 dull forward and break it, or choose 1 forward and deal it 8,000 damage. And he costs 6 yellow crystal energy to play. Got Merle Wib. She's an Admiral from Final Fantasy XIV. She costs 4 blue crystal energy to play. She's a backup card. When Merle enters the field, you may search for 1 water forward and add it to your hand. And then we got a Mute from Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced. It's a backup for 3 blue crystal energy to play. Its EX burst is when Mute enters the field, you may search for 1 card named Sid Randall or a card named Remedy and add it to your hand. So he works well with those other cards we got. At least Remedy so far. We got Nashu. She's our second to last card. She's a 1 purple energy backup to play from Final Fantasy XIV. The card named Hildebrand you control gains haste. You can tap her to choose 1 card named Hildebrand you control. It gains plus 2,000 power until end of the turn. And on the end, we have Gestalin Empire Sid from Final Fantasy VI. He's a 3 blue crystal energy to play. Backup engineer card from Final Fantasy VI. When Gestalin Empire Sid enters the field, you may search for 1 category 6 forward and add it to your hand. That's cool. So he has Final Fantasy VI series support. All right. So next we have Jessie from Final Fantasy VII. She's a 2 yellow crystal energy to play backup from Avalanche, Final Fantasy VII. The cost required to play a card named Cloud or card named Barret onto the field is reduced by 1, so she helps get those other operatives out, and that's pretty cool. Got another Mystic. You got a White Mage, 2 green crystal energy to play. It's a backup unit from Final Fantasy Tactics. You can see you can use 1 colorless energy, tap it, put White Mage into the break zone, choose 1 forward, activate it. It gains plus 1,000 power until end of the turn. And we got a Black Mage, 2 yellow crystal energy to play. It's a backup from Final Fantasy III. You can, its effect is 1 yellow energy, tap it, choose 1 forward. It cannot become dull by your opponent's summons or abilities this turn. We got a Black Mage from 3. Is a 2 blue crystal energy to play, backup standard unit from Final Fantasy III. You can tap it, put Black Mage into the break zone, choose 1 dull forward, deal it 4,000 damage. Arithmetician, it's from Final Fantasy Tactics, a 4 blue crystal energy to play, backup standard unit. When Arithmetician enters the field, select 1 number, dull and freeze all affords of that cost. And a Moogle from Theatrhythm, 2 blue crystal energy to play. It's a backup card, Moogle, and from Theatrhythm. You can pay 1 blue energy, tap it, put Moogle Theatrhythm into the break zone, draw 1 card. Ooh, nice. Look at that. We got a Hollow March. I know he's the main character, the protagonist from Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced. He's a forward, clan leader card, 3 red energy. His effect is a dull 1 active forward. Choose 1 forward blocking March, deal a damage equal to the power of the dull forward. And he has 7,000 power. We got a Biggs from Final Fantasy VII. He's 2 yellow crystal energy to play, backup, Avalanche operative. His effect is tap him, choose one job Avalanche Operative. It gains plus 1,000 power until the end of the turn. If you control a card named Wedge, it gains plus 2,000 power until end of the turn instead. It's cool to see them all working off each other. We got a No-Non for 3 green Crystal Energy. It's a backup Moogle card from Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced. When a forward you control attacks, choose one backup you control, activate it. For that, we got King of Bermesia from Final Fantasy IX. He's 3 purple Crystal Energy to play, backup King. His EX burst is when King of Bermesia enters the field, you may search for one job Dragoon or a card named Dragoon and add it to your hand. And on the end, we have Kefka from Dissidia Final Fantasy. He is a 8 yellow Crystal Energy to play, forward, mage. You can put a total of 3 forwards or monsters you control into the break zone to play Kefka from your hand onto the field. When Kefka enters the field, choose one forward or monster your opponent controls, break it with 8,000 power. Nice. Alright, starting off with a Summoner for this pack. She's a 2 blue Crystal Energy to play, backup from Final Fantasy III. Standard unit, you can tap her to use her effect, put Summoner into your break zone, choose one summon of cost 3 or less, cancel its effect. Alright, and then we have a Flan, a 1 blue crystal unit to play monster from Final Fantasy Theatrhythm. You can choose, use 1 blue crystal energy, tap it, search for one card named Flan, and add it to your hand. You can tap this card as well. Its other effect is tap, put Flan into the break zone. Your opponent discards 1 card from his or her hand. You can only use this ability during your turn. We got another Magus, 5 purple energy to play. It's a backup. Standard unit from Final Fantasy III. When Magus enters the field, choose one forward, deal it 7,000 damage. If you control 5 or more job standard units, deal it 9,000 damage instead. Another black mage from Final Fantasy III. Got an Ahriman, monster Theatrhythm, 2 green crystal energy to play. Its effect is 1 green energy. Put Ahriman into the break zone, choose 1 monster of cost 5 or more, break it. Another green energy, you can put him into the break zone, choose 1 forward of cost 5 or more, and break it. Alright, we got Queen Baran from Final Fantasy IX. She's a 3 blue crystal energy to play, backup, Queen class. Her EX burst is when she enters the field, you may search for 1 job standard unit forward and add it to your hand. Ooh, spoiler. We got a Dragoon, 3 purple energy. It's a forward standard unit from Final Fantasy III. Its effect is 1 purple energy. Dragoon gains plus 2,000 power until end of the turn. You can only use this ability once per turn, and it's got 6,000 power. And our holo for this pack is Sarah. She's from Final Fantasy XIII. 2 blue crystal energy to play. She's a forward, commando class. When Sarah enters the field, choose one forward opponent controls. If you control a category 13 other than Sarah, dull it and freeze it. When Sarah attacks, you may pay 2 blue crystal energy. If you do so, your opponent discards 1 card from his or her hand. She has 5,000 power. We got a Sid Randell from Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. He's a 4 blue crystal energy to play, forward, Judge Master class. If you control a card named Remedy, Sid Randell gains plus 1,000 power. When your opponent's forwards enter the field, if your opponent doesn't pay 1 of any color crystal energy, dull that forward. He's got 8,000 power. We get a Delita, 3 yellow crystal energy to play, forward knight class from Final Fantasy Tactics. Its effect is when Delita enters the field, choose one forward opponent controls. You may put one of your forwards of the same cost other than Delita into the break zone. If you do so, break the chosen forward. When Delita is chosen by summons or abilities, Delita gains plus 1,000 power until end of the turn, and he's a 7,000 power unit. And still 2 more. Second to the end, we have Ezel, a 2 green crystal energy forward to play. Forward Hermetic from Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced. Its effect is when your opponent casts a summon, activate all forwards you control. It's from 5,000 power. And on the end for real, we have, an Onion Knight. That's awesome. That's really cool looking. He's a 4 green crystal energy to play. He's a forward ninja class from the Dissidia Final Fantasy series from Final Fantasy 3, as noted there to the side. Let's see, his effect is when Onion Knight enters the field or attacks, choose one forward, deal 3,000 damage. When Onion Knight enters the field, choose one card named Onion Knight of any element except a wind in your break zone, add it to your hand. Job Change Ninja, that's a special. Place Onion Knight at the bottom of your deck. If you do so, search for one card named Onion Knight with Job Sage and play it onto the field. And he's got 7,000 power. Very nice. Alright, getting down, we have 4 more packs for the middle row. Alright, we got a black belt to start us off with. 2 yellow crystal energy unit to play, backup, standard unit. When black belt enters the field, choose one forward you control. It gains plus 5,000 power until end of the turn. We got an Alexander, an EX card, a summon with takes 2 green crystal energy to play. Its EX burst is select one of the 2 following actions. Choose one monster, break it. Choose one backup you control, activate it, and draw 1 card. We got a Ranger, 3 red crystal energy to play. Forward standard unit. It's from Final Fantasy 3. And its effect is Haste. It's got the Haste ability. When Ranger attacks, deal 2,000 damage to all forwards your opponent controls. And it's got 4,000 power. Oh, sorry. That's been a long day. And I'm celebrating by ending it with opening some cards. Alright, next we got the Knight Forward class card. It costs 4 blue crystal energy to play. Standard unit from Final Fantasy Tactics. It's got 8,000 power. It's a vanilla unit. Doesn't have any effect. It's still got some nice art. We got another Dark Knight here. We got another Ifrit. 2 red crystal summon, EX burst. Choose one forward, deal 4,000 damage. If you control 5 or more fire characters, deal it 7,000 damage instead. Very nice. Love the Dissidia art for Ifrit. We got another Cactar. Nice, we got a Hollow Archer. Very, very nice. Hollows are a little bland. Kind of looks like they just use the same foiling for everyone, but always nice to have a foil card. We got a Marauder. She's from Final Fantasy 14. Forward, 2 red crystal energy to play. When Marauder attacks, Marauder gains plus 8,000 power until end of the turn, and 1,000 power. We have a Gladiator here. 2 blue crystal standard unit to play. It's a backup from Final Fantasy 14. Its effect is 1 blue energy, tap it, put Gladiator into the break zone, choose 1 job standard unit forward of cost 3 or less in your break zone, play it onto the field. You can only use this ability during your turn. Is this the end? Nope. Third from the end, we have Sid from World of Final Fantasy. Woof. He's a 2 blue energy crystal to play backup. He's a mech. Sid Waff cannot be broken. You can tap, put Sid Waff into your break zone, choose 1 monster of cost 2 or less in your break zone, play it onto the field. You can only use this ability during your turn. And on the very end, we have a Tama from World of Final Fantasy. A 7 yellow crystal unit backup to play, companion. When Tama enters the field, choose 1 earth forward of cost 5 or less in your break zone, play it onto the field. You can tap 6 of any, you can use 6 of any color energy, tap it, then put Tama into the break zone, choose 1 earth forward of cost 5 or less in your break zone, play it onto the field, dull. You can only use this ability during your turn. Nice. Alright, third to last pack. Alright, Starting this one off with a Sleone. It's a 2 blue crystal energy monster card, Vermin class, from Final Fantasy 13. When either player casts a summon, put Cleone into the break zone. If you do so, cancel the summon's effect. When Cleone is put from the field into the break zone, draw 1 card. You got Shiva from Final Fantasy 13. She's a 2 blue crystal energy to play. She's a summon from Final Fantasy 13. EX Burst, choose 1 dull forward, deal it 6,000 damage, and 1,000 more damage for each card named Shiva in your break zone. She doubles more damage on the more you have of her that are broken. We got a Pew Pew. He's a 1 blue energy crystal to play. He's a summon from, looks like the city of Final Fantasy. He's got the EX Burst of discard 1 card, then draw 2 cards. Got another Magus. Another Adamantortis. Got an Ethar Soldier. He's a 2 purple crystal backup unit to play, standard unit from Theat Rhythm. And that's from, looks like, Final Fantasy 8. Theat Rhythm. When Ethar Soldier enters the field, choose 1 forward of cost 4 or less opponent controls, dull it. Got another Ghoul. Ooh, nice. And we got a Hollow Shiva in the same pack. We started off with a Shiva. We got another Wedge. We got a Arun Senna. This one goes with that other one we got earlier. She's a 4 green crystal energy to play, backup unit from Final Fantasy 14, Seed Seer class. When Arun Senna enters the field, you may search for 1 card named Khan E Senna or a card named Rhea O Senna and add it to your hand. We got a Lednar from Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced. 2 red crystal energy to play, forward, Bismutar class from Final Fantasy Tactics Advanced. When Lednar blocks or is blocked, if your opponent doesn't pay 2 of any crystal energy, Ledar cannot be broken this turn. When Ledar is chosen by a summon or an ability of your opponent controls, if your opponent doesn't pay 2 of any energy, Ledar cannot be broken this turn. So seems like a wannabe very indestructible card with a 5,000 power. And on the end, we have Hayun. She is a 2 red crystal energy forward, mysterious woman class from World of Final Fantasy. If you control 3 or more category World of Final Fantasy characters other than her, she gains plus 4,000 power. If you control 5 or more category World of Final Fantasy characters other than her, she gains plus 1,000 power and Brave. And she's got a base 5,000 power unit. Second to last pack. Looks like we're going to be starting off with another Ramu here. Another Jessie next. We got a Green Dragon, 2 blue crystal energy to play, monster card from Theat Rhythm. 1 of any crystal energy. Until the end of the turn, Green Dragon also becomes a forward with 7,000 power. You can only use this ability once per turn. Got another Araman. Got another Black Mage. Another Ethar Soldier. We got a Bomb. 1 red crystal energy to play, monster from Final Fantasy Theat Rhythm, Bomb class. You can put Bomb into the break zone, choose 1 forward, and deal it 5,000 damage. Oh, nice. Our hollow for this pack is a Rogue, Hollow Rogue, for 2 blue crystal energy forward, standard unit from Final Fantasy 14. When Rogue deals damage to a forward, dull it and freeze it with a base of 5,000 power. Oh, and look at that. Following right up, we have another Rogue. And we have a Pugilist. After that, 2 yellow crystal energy to play, forward standard unit from Final Fantasy 14. For each job standard unit forward other than Pugilist you control, Pugilist gains a plus 2,000 power. And he's got standard 5,000 power. Ooh, nice. We have a Black Waltz 3. He's 3 purple crystal energy to play, forward Black Mage class from Final Fantasy 9. When Black Waltz 3 enters the field, choose 1 forward. It loses 2,000 power until end of the turn. When Black Waltz 3 is put from the field into the break zone, choose 1 forward. It loses 2,000 power until the end of the turn. He's got a base of 6,000 power. And it's just the end. Very end, we have Orlando. He's from Final Fantasy Theat Rhythm, Final Fantasy Tactics. He costs 5 purple crystal energy to play. He's a forward. When he enters the field, choose 1 damage forward and break it. His special ability is Shadow Blade Special with 2 purple crystal energy. Choose 1 forward, it loses 7,000 power until end of the turn, and you can activate him. And he is a base of 9,000 power. Alright, before we get the last pack, let's just organize these really quick. Oh god. Oh god. Everybody's falling. They're falling apart. Ooh. Oh, go on. Here we go. A lot of cards. Just like Christmas. Alright. Last pack. Of the middle row. We still have a whole other row to go. But I think that's going to be after, or saved for another video. Let's see. Alright. Back to the rest of the pile. Okay. So for our last pack, we're going to be starting off with a white mage. We got 2 green crystal energy units to play. I think we did already pull a copy of him. We got another sage. Another black mage. Another dragon. A Bonga thief. It's 2 yellow crystal energy to play monster card from Theatrhythm. That's from Final Fantasy 12. It's a Bonga. 1 yellow crystal activates his effect. Until end of the turn, Bonga Thief also becomes a forward with 7,000 power and brave. You can only use this ability once per turn. We got a Geomancer after that. She's got 2 green crystal energy to play. She's a backup unit. Standard unit from Final Fantasy 3. When Geomancer enters the field, you choose 1 wind character other than Geomancer you control. Activate it. We got Babus, a 2 green crystal energy forward to play. Runeseeker class from Final Fantasy Tactics Advance. When a forward opponent controls attacks, choose 1 forward opponent controls. If your opponent doesn't pay 1 of any crystal energy, freeze it. He's got 5,000 base energy. Ooh, that's got to be a good one. That's a 5 purple crystal energy forward lightning forward card. She is Knight of Atero class from Final Fantasy 13. She has haste. When lightning enters the field or attacks, choose 1 forward opponent controls. If you control a category 13 character other than lightning, dull it. Discard 1 card named lightning. Remove lightning from the game. Then play lightning onto the field, dull. She's got a base 7,000 power. That's a good like switcheroo mechanic. We got a Koboroid Yin. And we got a couple of these in the first stack that we went through. Monster card of 1 green crystal energy to play. Zwerg Droid from Final Fantasy 13. Until end of the turn, Koboroid Yin also becomes a forward with 3,000 power. And Koboroid Yin cannot be blocked by forwards of cost 3 or more. You can only use this ability once per turn. Oh, we got a Bahamut summon for red crystal energy from Theatrhythm. Its effect is choose 1 forward, deal it 8,000 damage. If it is put into the field, if it is put from the field into the break zone this turn, remove it from the game instead. And yep, second to last we have Tonberries. That's a monster card. 2 blue crystal energy to play from Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles, it seems. And its effect is when Tonberries enter the field, choose 1 forward. It loses 2,000 power until end of the turn. Put Tonberries into the break zone, choose 1 forward. It loses 2,000 power until end of the turn. 1 blue crystal energy, you can play that to put Tonberries into the break zone. Choose 1 forward, it loses 4,000 power until end of the turn. And on the very end for our last pack, we have Akane Seno. There we go. We got the trio complete. She's a 5 green crystal energy to play. She's a forward. Seedseer class from Final Fantasy 14. Her effect is if you control a card named Rei Osena or Kan Isena, gain plus 2,000 power. When Kan Isena enters the field, if you control a card named Arubsina, activate all the backups you control. And she has a base of 7,000 power. Alright, that's a pretty good haul. Like that. I think Lightning is probably one of the best cards we got alongside Onion Knight there for this side. Look at that. Not a crazy detailed haul, but very nice. Alright guys, thanks for watching. We're going to be going through the last stack sometime very soon, so I hope you stick around. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.